start with your reaction first. Who told you about this most recent?
Believe it or not, I still haven't gotten a call from the LA sheriffs about the tomorrow's press release. This was all thanks to you guys, media. Media called me, LA Times Paula Hall called me and said, what do you know about this? I definitely need to talk to you. And I'm like, what? And I actually thought she was talking to me about the lawsuit filed yesterday. She's like, no, you know there was a sighting of your daughter? And I'm like, oh, it took them 7 months to follow up on it?
Tell me this. So what everyone doesn't know is that you've already seen it.
Yes, or a strong possibility. Now, in this quest going into 11 months, there's been a lot of lookalikes of my daughter. I've been up 2 o'clock in the morning going to follow up on searches. I personally was on a motorcycle convention in Las Vegas, January 2010. And some of my friends, we identified a girl that looked just like my daughter. In a matter of seconds while I'm contemplating, I'm like, oh, she just looks like my daughter. Then distinctive body movements that my daughter has start to come out in this person that looks like my daughter. So it was until the girl turned her back and started walking, and I'm like, that's got to be my daughter. My daughter has a distinctive walk. I jump out the car in the middle of Fremont and 9th Street in Las Vegas. Almost hit by a car, and by the time I get from behind the truck to get to the sidewalk, again, she's gone. So my friends make a joke and say, it's got to be her because she keeps vanishing. But, but we looked around, and this girl that we just saw is now nowhere to be found. So we kept doing searches. After that, I couldn't sleep, so I got back up the following morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. I said, I'm going to canvass this area. Still nothing. I get home, I tell my wife Victoria about it, and we said, we need to follow up on this. We were going to go the following weekend, but it started storming and raining so bad that we had to postpone it. We went back out there the following weekend. There's a skid row, a homeless area out there. We were passing out flyers, giving out buttons, the whole 9 yards. So many people said, I know you may not believe this, but that girl is here. I came back, I told all this information from the first sight. I gave them the graph, I gave them pictures, I gave them scan materials of the building, and everything. They said they were going to check it out. Apparently, they said they checked it out, but it was a very laxal days of checking out, in my opinion.
So, Mr. Richardson, do you believe that since you saw her in January, your daughter was alive and living in Las Vegas?
I've always felt that way. I want to strongly believe that if this is not my daughter, this is her twin. And I'm very positive of it. I strongly believe that this young woman just has too many similarities of Mitrice Richardson.
So you believe this is Mitrice that there is?
I really want to think positive. I really, really want to think positive, but my heart has been sunken so much. This has been a wonderful homecoming, a wonderful end to such a tragic situation. And I will embrace her, and I don't even want to ask her what happened, why, no nothing. It's just like, you'll tell me when you're ready.
Any idea why she would be out of touch for so long?
You know what? Kids do the darndest things, they said on TV back in the 1970s or whatever, and she probably want to be her, and maybe I can't speculate, I can't guess, I can't assume, I can't none of that.
Do you think by being there tomorrow, if she gets in front of the television, she sees her dad there, that could help get her in touch?
I hope so, but here's the thing that I'm challenged with. Based on her mental instability since the time that this has happened, we don't know what her mental stability is at this time. So that is the greatest thing we got to do, is just find this young lady and see what her mental status is. Because she may not be aware of what she's doing and what's going on based on all the findings regarding this investigation for going into 11 months.
What do you think was wrong with your daughter?
I think she just set the bar too high in practice. This young lady kept a 4.0 grade average all her life. Dancing, trying to have a relationship, going to school, working as an executive, doing all the right things, which I figured that she would have benefited this society, and I just don't understand why a family such as myself and my daughter have to go through this. We're taxpayers.
Let's talk about the lawsuit. You filed a lawsuit against the sheriff's department.
Yes, sir.
Yesterday.
Yes.
That's a bit of offense.
No, I just call it a bit of strategic planning by the world finest LA sheriff. See, for my every action, they call them to do a reaction. Mind you guys, they knew about the second sighting, possible sighting of Mitrice 6 to 8 weeks ago. Yes. So they've been dispatching 12 to 15 sheriffs out there daily, weekly, to follow up with Las Vegas Police Department for 6 to 8 weeks now. Now, all of a sudden, Mr. Richardson dropped his lawsuit, and it's like, okay, taxpayers are going to go ballistic. What have you guys been doing? Why haven't you found this young lady? What's going on? And then basically what's going to happen is we got to diffuse this. We got to keep the city in control. So what we're going to do is we're going to announce what we've been doing in Las Vegas. And again, just like some of their searches they've been doing, it is just enough to say to the people, we're doing something, but Mr. Richardson is just not satisfied. So they're very strategic in their planning and what they're doing, but you have to be educated enough to know, now we see through this.
Are you still going to seek damages from the sheriff's department?
Definitely. And the damages is for this. I'm bankrupt. I have to go see another lawyer regarding, here's a young man that has worked 19 years consecutively, 85 to 90 hours a week, working 2 full-time jobs to have a decent lifestyle for me and my family. I have sent back 2 cars. I have reduced my method of living. I have nothing in my savings. I'm on public transportation to get around. And this is all over $89 that her grandmother offered to pay. Mel Gibson and all of them can walk in there and take pictures and run up a tab to $1,000 and just say, oh, I'm a celebrity, I ate at Joffrey's, you write it off. You didn't offer us any assistance to rectify this. So I feel like this, as a taxpayer, my daughter is a taxpayer, why was she treated this way? Why didn't you follow protocol? Your own policies and procedures said based on the 9 witnesses you talked to, she was experiencing something. The reason why I want to follow through with the lawsuit, not about monetary. You guys lied about so many different things that we want to know why you were lying about this. For whatever reason you felt you needed to lie about it, you lied about it or played mistruth. 5 months, Captain Martin of the same Lawsville Sheriff said there was no video surveillance of my daughter. We don't do that. So finally, I found an article where they have surveillance cameras in their cars and they went out to a public dispute, and for evidence, they used their video recording. So then I get on the phone and say, how is it that you have video surveillance in your car, but your state-of-the-art building don't have video surveillance?
So the sheriff's department has a message for your daughter today. They're saying if she comes forward, she's not in any trouble. They just want to know if she's okay. I'm curious to know, do you have a message for the sheriff's department?
I do have a message. And what people don't know is the sheriffs and I work very closely together. The only thing that I have not, will not, and refuse to do is give them my DNA. And you got to use your common sense to figure out why I will not give the sheriff my DNA. Just history alone shows I won't do that. But we have worked really well. They understand my frustration. I genuinely believe that the head sheriff's investigators on this really does look at his 2 daughters differently every night he goes home since he's been working this case, thinking like, man, what could Mr. Richardson be going through? So we really trying to iron it out, but yet and still it's not a slap on the hand incident. I expected something like this from a rookie. They're quick to tell you how many years of services that they have, but out of all the officers together combined, they've had over 100 years of so-called experience that did the most dumbest decision that you can ever done, and that was release that young lady out. Now,